Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter the Master of Hoppers. Today reviewing some more Danish craft beer from a brewery I haven't reviewed beer from in ages. From Ebeltoft Gårdbryggeri. One of the more well-known breweries in Denmark, I think, at least in Denmark. I don't know how much distribution they do outside of Denmark, but they're very known for high-quality beers and one of the best locations for a brewery in the country. I've done videos there in the past, hanging out with the guys, camping there with Brett and whatnot, Brett and Tobias and some friends. And it's been such a lovely place to visit. I haven't been in such a long time, but this summer I went to the brewery with my girlfriend and my two children, which was great. We got to hang out, have some beer, some soda. They also make great sodas. And then it was a short pit stop before going to a zoo nearby called Re Park, which is a very good zoo. So we went there. We got to hang out and chat to the guys, which is always great fun. And we brought some beers home as well. And some I wanted to review because I think their beers are really good. And it's been ages since I reviewed some Ebeltoft on the channel. So I thought it'd be fun to do some Ebeltoft on the channel. You've probably seen reviews of like Wildflower variants or Raw Power and different beers. Also, there is a whole on the road video series from down there. So yeah, let's dive in. We're drinking a beer from them I never reviewed that I think is really good, which will be fun to review, and a variant of it. So we're trying NGP and NGP2, or squared, which is North German Pilsner is what it's short for. It's their North German Pils, and both beers are on 5%. And I talked to their brewer Max, and according to him, the big difference between these is the same recipe. The NGP² or 2 is just with twice the amount of bitterness. So I think he said like 30 and then 60 IBUs. So should be fun. A 60 IBU Pils, that's not something you see too often. But I myself, I'm a huge lover of North German Pilsners. So it's awesome to, try something from Denmark that's also inspired by this, like the North German Pilsners that are more hoppy, more bitter. And the guys at Ebeltoft, they know their lager. They go to Germany often. They have an affinity for a lot of the Franconian stuff as well. So yeah, just all around great people. So let's try the North German Pils. This is really fresh. This was packaged a couple weeks before I went to the brewery, so it's less than a month old. It pours a golden yellow color, well, just pale yellow actually, straw yellow color in the glass. A little bit of chill haze, but it's really hard to not have chill haze right now in the summer because it's hot outside, and then you got a cold beverage. Really nice lacing on the glass as well. That head is really sticking. So I think this is probably just Pilsner malts or something like that because it's so pale. I think I was actually told what's in here, but I forgot. So well, let's check out the aroma on North German Pils. Oh, that smells exactly like what I want right now. Really nice floral, bitter, spicy edge. Definitely more aromatic hop bouquet than traditional Pilsners. But it's got some balance too. It doesn't go all the way in like super aggressive floral intense notes, which I also really like. It sits like with a lot of hop aromatics, but balanced by like crisp, light crackery malt. And super clean. There's a bit of a perfumey edge to it. But also like earthiness, petrichor when it's rained. Like in the forest, that smell of like wet leaves or something like that. It smells really good. And then like that crackery malt base. It smells dead on to style. Let's chug some North German Pils. Cheers. Really, 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 really nice. You can also taste that this is really damn fresh. Crisp, refreshing, really nice bitterness. Although it's 30 IBUs, it doesn't feel obscenely bitter. I think it's the water profile. It's like the bitterness is forward and it's there, but it's not like aggressive. And then it's definitely like a spicy, chewing on black peppercorn type bitterness. It's not also just crisp, light crackery malt. There's also a little bit of a doughy breadiness to it. I promised to share these with a girlfriend, so I need to be careful because I know I would slam this too quick. It says small 33 centiliter bottle. This beer just, it goes down like, this is really fucking great. This is in great condition. Really nice hop bouquet. Slight hints of sulfur, but it's not too bad. I actually like that in Pilsners and also West Coast IPAs. Oh man, I have such a hard time not wanting to crush this. Grassy, floral, citrus, a good deal of the peppercorn as well. It doesn't have too much of that petrichor stuff. I think that was more in the nose. But it's just like a really crisp, bitter, awesome Pils. Like when you go there, you can do like mixed cases and you can do soda cases. You can do like you could just go for a full case of this and you'd be pretty stoked because it's just a great Pilsner. So this will be interesting. Try and jump up to double the amount of bitterness in NGP² squared here. So the first thing I notice is that this one, well, it's a little bit older and it's not as clear. It's definitely got a little bit more haze. That can be batch variation. And I think maybe the color seems darker, but I actually think that is something to do with the haze. Because when you look at the beers next to each other like this, they look the same with the lights. But because this is slightly hazy, light doesn't penetrate the same way. So I think that's maybe just the difference, really. So let's see how the NGP² is. Very similar nose, but you can just smell that this is not as fresh. That's basically it. Yeah, this has some of that vibrancy, slight sulfuric character. This seems a bit more heavier on malt, more sweet malt, more cereal maltiness, more crackery notes. The malt just shine more. But it's the same lighter malt, but because the hops aren't as dominating anymore, the malt is more forward and seems more dominant. But otherwise, very similar aromatics. So let's try the double IBU version here. Definitely more bitter. Yeah. Wow. I think it's really something to do with water profile. Even though this is more bitter, it just does not feel crazily bitter. It must be coming something now on the back. Bitterness is a fun thing because it's really different. Also, it's perceived so differently depending on how the beer tastes. Like if the beer is really herbal in flavor, you'll also assume it's more bitter. Like there's just notes of that leads to more bitterness. You can have like the most clean, really fruity beers with high bitterness. And if the bitterness is clean enough, and what was that? If the bitterness is clean enough, it's not gonna seem as biting. It's really interesting, something I found. In general with beer, there's so many things we perceive, which is just our minds working, which might not be true. The bitterness is definitely higher, but it's still balanced. But I definitely prefer the normal version. I think it's just due to freshness. Because I just want to slug this down. I love the more floral edge, more grassy edge now as well. Less citrus than the first time around. And this one is just like more heavy pepper. And I think that's also because the bitterness really understates that bitter black pepper flavor. But it also is quite floral. But it's really interesting how a beer that has such a high bitterness for a Pilsner, it's not more outrageously bitter than it is. It's definitely a bitter Pilsner. It's probably going to be too bitter for some. But I really like that. I love bitterness in beers. I miss bitterness in beers. Like real bitterness from, like that sits like that. Not like bitterness of hops in suspension and all that. Like this, still clean on the palate. And then just like that longing bitter finish that sits on the tongue. The best way to drink these is you go to Ebeltoft and you sit there on their patio in the sun and enjoy it. They used to have a big field with all kinds of events and stuff. It was so much fun. But due to neighbors complaining about blah, blah, and it's like, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's like farms. But because neighbors complain, they're now not allowed to do all these events in the summer. It's just like, people are trying to create a cool community. It's not like it's a get shit-faced party every weekend and every night. It's just like people like tourists come and stuff. Like you get people going to like a middle of nowhere place in Denmark, kind of, not completely. You are kind of close to Aarhus and also just Ebeltoft city. It's not actually in Ebeltoft, but like you get people there and they get to see that insane nature. If you actually go here as well, one of the really cool things to do is to do the Tolkien Trail. Very close to the brewery, the Tolkien Trail is, and that is a trail of sites that actually named locations in the Lord of the Rings. Tolkien was an avid fan of Denmark, traveled in Denmark a lot, and took a lot of inspiration from Denmark, but also from Scandinavian myths when writing Lord of the Rings. So we have Isengard, Hjelmskløft, Helm's Deep. Like there's so many different locations around the middle of Jutland and Ebeltoft on this trail, which just named things in the Lord of the Rings, which is amazing. And now that was a weird sidetrack, so let's finish this video. Great beers, grades, the regular NGP, which I think is like 3 weeks old, 93, 94 maybe even. This is a really nice North German Pilsner with a really nice assertive bitterness. Yeah, and I think I just want, personally, a little bit more intensity of hop flavor. And then we're all the way there. But this is more balanced, which is also great. I just love when the Pilsner really pop and sing with hops. It still pops and sings a lot. And then this one, I think the age gets to it a little bit, so maybe a 90, 91. But still really good beers. Fucking awesome lagers. 93, 91, maybe even, 93, 91, something like that. Really, really good Pilsners. Urge you guys to check these out from Ebeltoft as well, because they're really well known for the wildflower and the kind of hazy IPA stuff. They were some of the first people to really push that in Denmark, but their lager game is pretty damn on point. Even also Saisons. The Saka is amazing. So if you guys had a chance to try NGP or NGP², from Ebeltoft, let me know what you thought of them. Thanks a ton for watching. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page, Twitter, and Instagram, and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I want to say cheers to Max and the gang at Ebeltoft, and Lucas and Bela and everyone. See you guys in the beer review.